Hi guys, welcome to another episode of We Love the Earth. This week we will be discussing the top 5 important things about plants. To help us with our discussion, we have 5 panel members: Mr. Guy Cat, Alicia Blake, Kevin Reed, Ray Gordon, Kishima Shetty, and a special guest, Mr. Plant Lord himself. Let's get right into it. Plants produce oxygen by a process called photosynthesis. But what is photosynthesis? Beckett, can you explain this to us, please?
Photosynthesis. Doesn't that sound like a big word? Well, don't be bogged down by it. I'll tell you what it means. Photo is a Greek word for light, and synthesis is a Greek word for putting together. Now, it's simple. Photosynthesis is using light to put things together.
When plants photosynthesize, they take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Both humans and animals depend on this oxygen produced by plants in order to survive. This is because oxygen fuels our cells. Hence, without plants, life as we know it would cease to exist. This earth would not have been as beautiful as it is today. Brings us to number 2. When plants photosynthesize, they take in carbon dioxide. They combine this carbon dioxide with energy from the sun and water, which is taken up by their roots. All this is combined to make food. Plants provide foods for both humans and animals. Alicia, can you give us some examples of foods that we get from plants?
Tomatoes, carrots, cauliflower, peppers, turnip, spinach, radishes, zucchini, pumpkin, acorn squash, potatoes, pea, onion.
Excellent job, Alicia. We can now move on to the third major importance of plants. Many plants have medicinal properties. These plants include turmeric, which is the root of the plant, primrose, and lavender. Kevin, please provide us with examples of medicinal plants and their uses.
Basil or tulsi for common cold, sore throat, headache and kidney stone. Also helps in treating asthma. Basil leaves has shown to lower blood glucose levels in diabetes type 2 patients. Mint or pudina. Mint facilitates smoother digestion. It has anti-inflammatory properties. It is also useful in skin dryness, pimples and acne. It is useful in bacterial infection.
Excellent job, Kevin. We can now move on to the fourth most important property of plants. The bark of trees are used in the production of many stationeries. These include decks, paper, plastic, and rubbers. Can you tell us the story about the time you found out that papers were made from trees?
Every morning I get the newspaper from my dad. So one day I asked him, where do newspapers come from? He said newspapers start out as trees on a tree farm. Trucks take the trees to a mill, where they're smushed up into wet, squishy stuff called pulp. The pulp gets rolled out thinner and thinner until it turns into paper. Next, giant rolls of the paper go in one side of a printing press, and a newspaper comes out the other side. The newspapers get delivered to houses for people to read, just like my dad does.
Thanks for sharing, Ray. But are there other ways in which you and your family use the newspaper?
I made paper dolls for a school project. My brother uses it to make awesome paper airplanes. Mom cleans the windows with newspaper, and she even wraps presents with the comic pages. Can you guess what we do with the leftover newspapers? They're recycled. Dad says they'll be used to make new things like mulch to help trees grow.
That's awesome, Ray. I'm glad you mentioned that. It is very important for us to recycle and replant trees in order for us to have trees around forever. We can now move on to number 5. One of the most important functions of trees is that they help to control soil erosion. Now invite Kishma to explain the process of soil erosion, its causes and effects, and how trees help to prevent soil erosion. Please let her feel welcome.
The removal of top fertile layer of soil by agents like wind and water is called soil erosion. Soil erosion makes fertile land barren, resulting in poor harvest. The roots of trees act as soil binders. Trees also slow down the speed of wind and flowing water. Cutting down of trees in large number leads to soil erosion.
Thanks, Kishma. That was a very informative presentation. With that said, we have reached the end of this week's episode. Thank you for watching. A special thank you to all the presenters and a big thank you to Mr. Tree Lord himself for providing us with all these wonderful benefits. Mr. Tree Lord, would you like to say anything? Okay, Mr. Tree Lord. Thanks again for watching, guys. Catch us next week on another episode of We Love the Earth.